What's up, everybody? Um, Chug Dude here. I've not been around lately. I've had a couple of health issues pop up. I shaved my face to confront sort of being overweight. I feel like I've been hiding behind my beard. So, I'm currently starting the keto diet. I'm not saying it's the healthiest diet on the planet, but it's one of the easiest ones for me to stick to. So, I'm doing that, doing some cardio. And in the vein of that, I have some, what is it? Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Zero sugar, that means it's good for you. Surprisingly, it's got 95 milligrams of caffeine in it. So it's got more caffeine than a Red Bull. So here, the lighting's a bit weird. Let me try something real quick. There we go. That's a little bit better, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to try a couple of things coming up. I think I'm going to really attempt to get into voice work, maybe some smallish advertising things, possibly like radio commercials, just to start out, build my resume a little bit. But the first step is just getting everything together. So I'm probably going to do a lot of revamping. I can't use my phone forever like this. So I'm looking to build like a computer room of some sort. So that's going to be a bit of a journey. But like I said, I've had a couple of health issues come up recently. I had this mysterious thing kind of happen to me. I had done plyometrics because my whole New Year's resolution was to get in shape. And I was doing plyometrics from, P90X3. So it's a shorter version. I'm working a lot of overtime, so I was trying to find something short I could do after work, keep my diet clean, and it was going good. It was going really good until, I woke up the next morning. I went to turn on my shower to get the heat going. I came back to get my phone, and as I took a step, my knee buckled, and I was like, oh, it's because the plyometrics I did the night before. My knees have buckled a million times. Been after squats, after a workout day, you're going upstairs at school or something, and your knees buckle. It's a normal thing. Well, my knee buckled, and it's like somebody flipped a switch, like somebody cut off, like I was a robot, and somebody just turned me off all of a sudden, like the power just left, and my whole left side just kept going. And so instead of just a buckle, it buckled, and then I couldn't come back from that. It just kept, like, all the power and everything I had in my left side was just going. Numbness, everything. So they thought I had a TIA, a stroke. I called the emergency room, and in that span, a little bit of a panic. In that span, I was able to eventually get back up. My left side was very weak and shaky, but I was eventually able to get back up. And I did what I had to do. I was 30 hours in the emergency room. They couldn't see anything. They thought it could have been a TIA, but nothing came back on the CAT scan. Nothing came back on the MRI. They did one of my chest. They mentioned that like my right aorta is a little bit big, and I should follow up with the cardiologist. But my heart seemed fine. They did plenty of EKGs. The next day I had something similar, but not as severe, happen. I did go to the emergency room. This time it wasn't the ambulance. This time I just went and got checked out a little bit, and everything was good to go. They think it could be my migraines. Now, while all this is going on, I've had a lot of back issues since I was in high school, and I'm older now. I'm 33 now, so I've had back issues for a long time, and some of this could be related to a pinched nerve. I've been having terrible migraines lately where my vision completely disappears. And meanwhile, this whole time, I've not been drinking. You know what I mean? So I've not drank any alcohol this whole year. So anyway, that's kind of to catch you up to date. They have me on some medication for migraines now, which is, if anything, it's just kind of tamed down my anxiety, and the migraines I did have were just ocular. I'd get a tiny ache, but I wouldn't be able to see anything. And they were happening very frequently. As a matter of fact, I got one the other day, even on this medication. But they said it takes 6 weeks to work, so whatever. needless to say, I'm scared to work out. You know, so I've just been doing very low impact cardio, elliptical stuff. You know, so I'm very limited to it now. I'm working 60-hour weeks, so you know, I'm grateful of that with the COVID and everything going on. I'm very grateful I'm able to work. But regardless, you came here to see a Chug video, right? So we have Mountain Dew, 0 sugar. Now I'm going to do something a little different here. I just got these new knives. They're so kick-ass, man. I got a K390 Spyderco Endura. So this thing is pretty sweet. I love it. I just cooked a keto taco soup. And that's what I'm going to be munching on all week. I got my little soup container. I feel old school, you know. I got my Endura and K390. I'm testing that out. I'm already starting to get, you know, and I'm cleaning it a lot. I'm already starting to get a patina on it because it rusts very easily, apparently. Which I don't mind as long as it doesn't rust. So patina doesn't bother me. But I also got, and possibly, so I'm very lucky. I got some of my favorite knives recently. I know, I'll get to the Chug in a second, but I love knives, so I gotta kind of inform you guys on this. It's the whole catch-up video. So I got this. This is the Cold Steel 4-Max, right? I carried this for a while. It's a big knife to carry, right? I love it. I love this knife. I've been carrying it for a minute. It is wonderful. I do need to resharpen it. I mean, it still cuts, you know what I mean? Sometimes I like the hair popping kind of thing going on. It's not really super practical, but it's just me. And I also got a Voyager Vaquero blade. This is an AUS 8. The 4-Max is in, let me see, CPM 20 CB. So that's pretty high-end steel. This is, no, I'm sorry. This is AUS 10, not AUS 8. There you go. I don't know if they make anything at AUS 8 anymore. This is primarily just self-defense blade. I got it just because I liked it. It looked cool and it wasn't super expensive. And we all thought Cold Steel was going to die. So that was one of the reasons. Anyway, I've been picking up smaller knives. And one of the small knives I've been carrying is this. It's a Kalashnikov, Kalashnikov 74. Something like that. Anyway, automatic, yeah, AK-74, there you go. So, this is a mini, so it's real small. You know, it's very tiny. It's a very tiny knife. And also, you know, super cheap knife. I recommend them. Everybody needs a auto Kalashnikov. And like I said, it's a mini, so for comparison, you have a regular size Kalashnikov, you got the mini Kalashnikov, you know. This is Tonto, and this is a drop point, or a Bowie style, you know, saber grind and all that good stuff. Anyway, I've been carrying smaller knives, but I've been getting, you know, there's only so much you can do. I love big knives, I love big choppers, I love all this kind of stuff, but now I'm like sort of refining a little bit of how I look at knives, and I'm like, well, if everybody loves certain knives, then why don't I just try carrying them, you know? Why don't I give it a shot? Whew. I need to clean this one. This one's patina as well. So, I always hear about K390, Triple B, or Big Brown Bear. He's a guy on YouTube who does a lot of knife sharpening. He's very, very knowledgeable in knives. I am not even a Padawan, you know. I'm like kindergarten level compared to that guy. He makes beautiful knives, and he's very about the philosophy of what you use a knife for. Slicing, you know, kitchen, processing an animal, stuff like that. Like after hunting, you know. And me in the beginning, I'm kind of a big goofy guy. I just got into knives because I like knives. Anyway, this thing right here, this Dragonfly, is one of my favorite knives. I love this knife. Why do I love this knife? Because it is, you know, surprisingly, I carry a 4-Max, you know, but this is one of my favorite EDC knives of all time. It is so small, and I find that I use it far more often than a big knife. It's just way more practical, you know. And I'm honing that philosophy in. Like, if I'm doing big work stuff, 4max is awesome to have, and I love it. It's one of my favorite knives. But if I'm doing big tasks, I'm going to have a fixed blade knife, or I'm going to have a hatchet, you know? So, I mean, as a matter of fact, I just got the panel wall kukri. So if I need something big, a big task, I can use that. You know, I don't need a folding pocket sword. Although I love them. Don't get me wrong. They have their place, self-defense, yada yada. This, though, this is beautiful. And I love how it goes all the way down to the tip. Like, you see how thin it gets at the tip. It just tapers down. I mean, I love this thing so much. I've used it so much. Anyway, I'm going to use it right here. We have this Mountain Dew. What is it? 16 ounces. So here's my plan. I'm going to take this and, you know, by the way, speaking of which, this whole time my wife's been so worried about me. You know, I love her to death. She's been there for me through everything. She's the best. Especially through the knife buying. Anyway. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to poke a hole in it, kind of like I do a can. And this is just a method to, you know, make it go faster. Anyway, here we go. So you see, that is how you chug 16 ounces of Mountain Dew. Pretty good, pretty delicious. I was always more of a mellow yellow guy when I was younger. I'm gonna be honest with you, but anyway, maybe I'll be checking back in a little bit more frequently. Like I said, I'm gonna try to build some sort of studio-esque thing where I can do my voice work. And see where I can go from there. You know, if anybody has any suggestions, you know, anything, let me know. That'd be great. Take it easy, but don't be sleazy.